Welcome back. Alright, so it's the first project of the year, and so we're going to start it out kind of slow, kind of simple, but extremely useful. Now, for this project, all you really need is a ruler, straight edge. You will need the measurement aspects. Now, I have a yardstick here. I find the yardstick to be very useful because it can help me with like long distances as well as short. So I have a measuring implement, so I have a yardstick. You'll need scissors. You'll need a safety can opener. You don't want a regular can opener, you do want a safety can opener, and I'll explain why. You'll need, now, and these are already open because obviously, you know, it's already ready, but this is a tuna can, so you need tuna can, and I have another one here. And the reason for the safety can opener, I'll explain later. And then you'll need just wax of any type, candles, crayons, any type of wax. So, and then the last thing you'll need is just boxes. So the first thing that you'll do is you'll take your ruler. Well, for the first thing you'll do is you're gonna need a can of tuna. You're gonna use your safety can opener to open it up, which I've already done. But that's gonna give you, not only do you have a safe edge, so you don't have to worry about getting cut, but you have something that can close back up. So that's why we do use the safety can opener, so that it makes it a resealable container. And then as far as your ruler, you're going to measure out 1-inch strips of cardboard and then just use your scissors to cut them. Now I've already done that because I don't want this to be an hour-long video, so I've got several strips. Now, the nice thing about this project is that most people have tuna or canned chicken or something in a can this size in their pantry. So, and what do we do with it? We just eat the tuna and we throw it out. No, save the cans. Use your safety can opener and save your cans. So that way you have a container that will seal and also stack, which is going to come in very handy. So, and then whenever you get boxes, this is one of our SHTF boxes. So it was a nice long one, so I kept it for this purpose. This here, as you can see, this was a ramen box, because a lot of times if you buy stuff in bulk, you'll get to keep the box. So this was just a ramen box. So some of the key takeaways from this right now is you buy the tuna, you pay like $1 something for a can of tuna, and then you throw the can away. So all you're getting is the tuna. Okay? You buy your box of ramen, and then you just throw the box away. So, the economy is not doing the best right now. Everything's getting more and more expensive due to inflation. So, if we can reuse the cans and reuse the boxes, then you're actually getting more value out of your dollar. So, the only thing that, when it comes to all of this, the only thing that you might really have to buy extra is going to be your candles or your paraffin or whatever type of wax you're using. Now, off camera, I do have some already melted wax so that we can proceed with the project. But basically what we're going to do is, with these strips of cardboard, we're going to do something like this. Alright, it's pretty simple. You've probably seen this done before. But a lot of times you just see people just take and they just, you know, throw it in there, and that's that. I've actually taken the time to measure it so that you can pretty much... It's not exactly perfectly tight, and I'll put tape around this later, but it'll stay closed. And actually, when you use this, the top will burn down a little bit, and it'll get hot with wax. And when you put the lid, you can use as a cap to put it out, so you'll be able to extinguish the flame and save the inside. And then the wax will actually seal this back up, so you'll actually have to pry it off, so it actually becomes a self-closing container as well. So we're just going to take our can here, and all I do is I'm going to start with the ramen one, and you just start rolling it up. Alright, now I didn't show cutting it, but these are 1-inch strips, and that's what I use the straight edge for, to get the measurement, but also so that I get nice straight lines drawn. And then I just take the scissors and I just cut them as straight and even as I can. If you have like a box cutter or a safety knife, you can. So Now we have this inside the container. We coiled it up. We put it in there. So we're going to bring out a shelf. That way we can put our wax in. All right, so now this is the part you got to be careful. Because the wax is melted and hot, and I like to put something down here just to stop from drippage. So then all you're going to do is you're just going to put your wax over your cardboard. You let that. All right. There you go. And you should be able to make about 3 of these from one of these large candles like this. So I made 2 earlier. So you should be able to get 3 out of one of these large candles. So that's a good thing too, because you pay like, you can still get these for about $1. I know I get these for about $1 at Food King. So they are unscented. So you definitely want unscented candles because you don't want to put any of the perfumes into the air when you're cooking. So unscented is definitely best. But as you can see, the cardboard has the wax in it and the little fit right on top. So that way you have a container, and then here's some others, right? And so see, you can just stack them right on top of each other. And these are all burners. So that way you're going to have ample flame source. So they're very simple to make. And the reason that I like these a lot is because you're reusing stuff that you would normally throw away. And by doing that, I mean, for me personally, I feel like I'm spending my money a little bit better because, well, not necessarily better, but at least that way, this $1.25 here, this dollar, let's say the box of ramen costs you about $7 or $8 now because everything's so high. But now you've got 3 stoves that, in the event of a blackout, you have no power, you have no gas, and what happens if it lasts for more than a day? It's been known to happen. So this way, you've actually got, you can cook. If you need to sanitize water, you can boil water with it. So I think this is a really good project. I know it's simple. You can see these videos, you know, on YouTube also, but again, all the ones I've seen, they don't go into the measurements. You know, they're like, oh, just cut up some cardboard and put it in there, and they're all jaggedy and they don't really look nice. And I like these because you actually put the cap on, you stack them up, and so, you know, in that size right there, you probably have, you know, you've got hours of cook time. And by being able to use this lid to extinguish it, you extend the amount of time that you actually have a good burner. So this is something, I mean, I like making these just because these are great to put into your bag if you're camping or fishing. You know, you light them up, you have your little camp stove, and, you know, you can cook stuff, you can boil water. They're fantastic. And for me, I like to make the most use out of everything. I don't like throwing things away. I prefer to repair my clothes. I would prefer to repair my clothes than to just throw them away, because everything's so expensive, especially now, and the prices are only going to keep going up. So, but yeah, so just a quick little recap here. Safety can opener. I love safety can openers. I'm not going to lie. I know a lot of people, they don't like them, but I really like safety can openers. This one's not the best I've ever owned, but it's decent. You know, once you lock it in, you open it up. But, you know, safety can opener. You may not be able to find a yardstick, but you can just get a ruler. I mean, you can go to almost any Dollar Tree or Walmart, and, you know, kids, you know, for school supplies, they have rulers. So, you know, you invest in a ruler, you know, and everybody should have a can opener of some type. Even if you don't have a safety can opener, you can still make these. You're just not going to be able to get them to close up as well. So, because you're going to have that sharp edge, which, and granted, that one with the sharp edge, if you have a regular can opener and you use the sharp edge, those have other uses also. So I'm not saying that this is the only thing, but I like safety can openers for this purpose. So, and let's just think about it here. A lot of people eat tuna or diced chicken, and they'll buy them in these cans. So a lot of people have these already up in their pantries, just sitting around. They're eating tuna, they're eating canned chicken, then they're just throwing the can away. Safety can openers, since these came out, a lot of people have been getting them. So, and especially if you have like kids or something, having non-sharp edges is always a good thing. Rulers, a lot of people have rulers sitting around. You don't have to use a ruler or a yardstick, but I prefer to have, something that is a really nice straight edge that I can cut a long piece of cardboard with, and you can measure 1 inch out. Again, the strips, 1 inch strips, and then you just have your cardboard boxes. And almost everybody orders from Amazon these days, or you'll buy like a whole box of ramen, or a whole box of this, or a whole box of that, and then they throw the boxes away. So you're throwing the stuff away that you can be using, and then Astro, what are you doing? Dog scratching the floor. It's a tile floor. So, but a lot of people have this stuff, and most people, and if you don't have safety can openers, household candles or candles, if you don't have these household candles laying around, you really should consider getting them. These right here, I know a lot of people, they don't really think about stuff like that. And even you may have flashlights, but I still recommend getting some candles. More than one reason. Yes, they do put out light, but a candle like this, I'm not sure how long these candles will burn, but let's say that you're in a wintertime situation and your lights go out. Well, now you're in the dark and you're cold. If you safely use candles, safely, mind you, safely, if you put them in a safe area, they do put out a little bit of heat. I mean, even those little tea lights will put out a little bit of heat. These put out a lot of heat. And these things, if you have them, well, you'll see tomorrow when we do our gear review, but if you have these, like, contained properly, like, you could use a can like this, right? And you could cut a hole out on the side of the can, drop these in there, and then so that way you don't have a loose flame burning. In fact, that gives me a good idea for a project. We can make a heater. But you can use these, because these will put out enough heat that they'll heat a small area. So there's a lot of uses for these. And get yourself some household safety candles, emergency candles, just in case. Get some tea lights. It's something inexpensive. Like I said, this one here was like $1. And these things are supposed to burn for a long time. They don't put out a whole lot of light. These ones don't, but still, some light is better than no light. And they're in a nice, safe container. These they're in a glass jar, so I don't know. But the nice thing about these is that, you can put these in boiling water. That's how I melted it down. I put it in boiling water. Well, you can drop these candles into this, and now you can reuse this for more wax. Like I said, I like to think about how I can reuse things so that I'm not just throwing stuff away. And that's something that I think I picked it up from my grandparents mainly, because my grandparents, they were they didn't feel like wasting anything. But we're talking about people that lived through the Great Depression, and there's a lot of lessons that have been lost from living through the Great Depression. We live in a society that just throws everything away. It's like, it's broken, we'll just throw it away. And sometimes it's something that can be fixed really easily. And so we're such a wasteful society now that we don't think about things like this. A lot of people don't. And I'm starting to think, well, you know what? I need to think like this. Because when it comes to me and my family, I want to make sure that we can eat, that we have clean water, that we're warm, and that we can be taken care of. So, But yeah, so that's it. I hope you like the project. I know it's simple. I mean, I enjoy doing it. I mean, I had a lot of fun making these. And I think that a big thing is that just remember 1-inch strips is about perfect. Because, you know, you can put the lids back on and you can stack them. So 1-inch strips and a safety can opener and you're good. You know, and then you can have like a whole stack of fuel. This is essentially fuel. This is cooking fuel. And so you can have a whole stack of cooking fuel, and you can even put this up in your cabinet, and it'll store perfectly safe. So much safer than propane or butane. It's, you know, you don't have to worry about, you know, if this spills over, you know, when you're using it is a different story. But you know, you don't have to worry about a lot of things with this. So if it gets hot, it just gets a little bit soft, you know, and then it'll just, when it cools down, it'll get hard again. So, but yeah, so please consider, if you haven't already and you're watching this, please consider subscribing to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. Like I said, I'm going to keep making these videos. My goal, and so far I'm on point, I mean, granted this is only the 8th day, but my goal is to actually put out a new video every day, anywhere from, you know, 10 to 20 minutes. You know, sometimes they might be a little bit longer depending on if it's like an unboxing or something. But my goal is to put out a lot of information over the course of this year, because we don't know how long things are going to be pumping along. You know, anything could happen. And if you're not prepping already, if you're not thinking about prepping, you need to change that mindset, because something like this is so simple to make. Even if you just make 4 like this, it's simple to make, and this could save your life. So, yeah. So please, leave me a comment. Please, you know, consider pressing that thumbs up. I really appreciate it. It does help the algorithm, as do comments. Even if you want to tell me, you know what, you need to, I don't know, you need to paint your wall or something like that. I've got some crazy comments, but hey, every comment, even if it's a negative one, helps the algorithm. So I do appreciate it. And until next time, like I said, and tomorrow we are going to be doing a gear review, and part of that gear review, we're going to be using one of these in that review. So I hope you like that video too. All right, well, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.